What's up, ninjas? Welcome back to Friday Night Arcade. Thank you for watching and thank you for your support. This week I'm taking a look at Ninja Gaiden on the Sega Master System. Up until recently, I had no idea this was a thing. Now, I'm a big fan of the Ninja Gaiden trilogy for the Nintendo, so I was really excited when I heard that there was a Ninja Gaiden game for the Sega Master System. Now, the Ninja Gaiden series did continue on some of the more modern systems, but I was always a fan of the 2D side-scrolling hack-and-slash Ninja Gaiden games that came out in the late 80s and early 90s. So those games are a lot of fun to play, but I was always disappointed that they didn't make any more of them. And then I hear that they made a Ninja Gaiden for Sega, and it's like, what? There's actually a very legitimate reason why a lot of people probably never heard of this game. It turns out that it was only released outside of North America. It came out in Europe and other PAL-based regions. This game came out about 4 years after the release of the first Ninja Gaiden game, and here it is. It looks and feels like a Ninja Gaiden game. It's got those very familiar graphics, it's got the cutscenes, it's got the side-scrolling hack-and-slash adventure, it's got the fast-paced music, it's got the familiar attacks and power-ups. This definitely looks like a Ninja Gaiden game. So let's take a closer look and see what it's all about. The story once again follows Ryu. He returns home to his village to find that it's been ransacked and completely destroyed. Everyone's been murdered and a very powerful scroll has been stolen. And once again, Ryu's got to take off on a quest for revenge, and to find the missing scroll. I have to say that playing through a brand new Ninja Gaiden side-scrolling game in 2016 was a lot of fun. It definitely feels like a Ninja Gaiden game, and like any great action game from that era, it has to have good controls, and this game definitely delivers. The controls with Ryu were very smooth. You can hang upside down off of platforms, and you can also swing around on them a little bit. There's also a wall jump technique, and it's a little complicated, but you will have to master this technique if you're going to make it through the game. Some of the levels require you to do some pretty complicated jumps to make it through, but it's not too bad. I do have to applaud the level design. It's unique in that there's different ways that you can go through the levels. There's platforms, so sometimes you can go high or you can go low, and there's some different little tricks that they threw in there. For example, in this one part, if you go up the wrong ladder, you'll end up getting hit with a spike. I just happened to get lucky and guess right the first time. And if you played Ninja Gaiden 2, you'll definitely remember the stage hazards. There's lava, there's rushing water, there's these weird wind tunnels. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. The game does also have the familiar power-up system, and you can find power-ups along the way, kind of like in Castlevania, where you find special attacks and special weapons that you can use, as well as ammo for your specials. This game also gives you a special attack where you can actually destroy all the enemies on the screen at the same time. If you push both buttons simultaneously, all of the enemies on the screen will explode, but you do take some damage in the process. There's some points in the game where this is actually necessary. Check out this crazy level. The lava's going up and down, and then when you step on one of the platforms, these three flames just show up, and if they hit you from any direction, it's going to knock you into the lava and you're going to die. So you have to A, know that the flames are going to show up, and then B, use your special attack, and there's no good way to get through it without taking damage. From a graphical standpoint, this game looks pretty darn good. I do think that I like the art direction in the Nintendo versions of Ninja Gaiden a little bit better, but from a technical standpoint, this game performs great. It's very smooth, and there's never any situations where there's glitchy enemies or slow down from too many sprites on the screen. It's just smooth hack-and-slash goodness. Like any Ninja Gaiden game, it features a variety of enemies. One thing that stands out is that some of the enemies actually take more than one hit to destroy. One of the things I always remember from the Nintendo version is that even though the enemies are really tough, you can kill them with one slash from your sword. In this game, there's some enemies that take 2 hits or even 3 hits to kill them. It adds a little bit more difficulty to it, although in general, I feel like this game is quite a bit easier than the Nintendo version. Let's face it, the Nintendo version is next to impossible. It can be done, but you really have to be at the top of your game. It took me 20 years to beat the first Ninja Gaiden. I didn't beat it until recently. Maybe it's just going through that experience made this game seem a little bit easier. I was able to pick this game up, play it for the first time, and beat it within a couple of hours. If you know what you're doing, you can probably get through it in under 40 minutes. The game also lets you keep your ammo and power-ups if you die. That's a big difference from the other games in the series, and it definitely makes it a lot easier. By the time I got to the end of the game, I had already wrapped the ammunition meter all the way up as high as it could go. I'm not complaining, it definitely makes it a lot easier. For the most part, the game doesn't have the respawning enemies and those just utter profanity-inducing frustration moments that the Nintendo version had, but there are some pretty annoying moments along the way. It's never too bad though. It's difficult, but you get infinite continues, so it's really not that bad. You can just keep trying until you get it. I will say too that the cutscenes just feel a little off. There is a story here, but it doesn't really seem very cohesive. Not in the way that the storyline in the original Ninja Gaiden for Nintendo went through. It's not necessarily a bad thing. For one thing, the cutscenes don't drag on for 25 minutes, but they just kind of feel very loosely connected, and I don't know. It's not bad, it's just different. Some of the dialogue is a little cheesy too, like, "Go to Tokyo and seek or I'll be back." I will say they definitely ramp up the difficulty for the final boss. Just like the Nintendo version, he takes on multiple forms. Although the first form's pretty easy, the second form is ridiculous. He flies all over the screen and is darn near impossible to avoid hitting. He shoots heat-seeking fireballs at you and then shoots lightning from the sky. It took me a lot of tries to finally beat this guy, and that was definitely the hardest part of the game. As it should be. Unfortunately, the game is pretty rare, and because of that, it is very difficult to find at a reasonable price. It just may be cost prohibitive for some people. But if you really wanted to play this game, I'm sure you could find a way. And it's worth the effort. Well, that's Ninja Gaiden on Sega for you. This game was a lot of fun to play through, and it was really kind of cool just playing through a game that I never knew existed until recently. This is like finding a new Mario Brothers game or a new Castlevania game that you just never knew was there. I'd be curious to know if any of you ever had a chance to play this, or if you enjoyed the Ninja Gaiden series in general. I'd love to hear some of your experiences with that. So as always, thank you for watching and thank you for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already to check out some of my other retro content. We've also got t-shirts now. You can show your support for your favorite D-list YouTube channel by buying a t-shirt right off of Amazon. Hey, thanks for watching everybody, and we'll see you next time on Friday Night Arcade.